Okay, the conjunct form with AI verbs. Again, there's four main types of verbs: animate intransitive, II, inanimate intransitive, TI, transitive inanimate, and TA, transitive animate. AI verbs are just your basic simple statement verbs, where somebody does something but it doesn't really affect anyone else. I eat, you read, I sit, I talk, they count. Now in the conjunct, the reason that we use the conjunct when there's more than one verb in a sentence. So for example, if you say, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy milk, that second verb is going to be in the conjunct. And the third verb, the fourth one, whatever falls, it'll be in the conjunct form. The other place that you use the conjunct is when you ask more complicated questions. When you're asking who, what, when, where type questions, you have to use the conjunct. You can use that independent a lot of times to answer those questions, but the conjunct is what you ask the question in. Another place that you sometimes see the conjunct is in songs and in prayers, which tend to be longer trains of thought. So here's the conjunct form with maji, a verb we're familiar with. He or she leaves. Maji yan, I leave. Maji yin, you leave. Majit, he or she leaves. Maji yak, we minus you leave. Maji ago, we all leave. Maji yuk, and some people say maji yak. And maji wat, they leave. So the thing with these is all the information about who's doing the action is contained on the back end of the verb. So yan, yin, ti, yak, yago, yuk, or yak, and wat, or what contains all the information about who's doing it. So that's another pattern you're going to want to memorize. The same way you memorize that pattern with namaji, gamaji, maji, namajiman, gamajiman, gamajim, and majik. Same way you want to memorize that yan, yin, ti, yak, yago, yuk, and wat. Again, some people also say yak, but so yan, yin, ti, yak, yago, yuk, and wat. So again, you just take this pattern and you can put any verb into it. So we're going to show you a few more. Bin shige, he or she cleans. Bin shige yan, I clean. Bin shige yin, you clean. Bin shiget, he or she cleans. Bin shige yak, we but not you clean. Bin shige ago, we all clean. Bin shige yak, you all clean. Bin shige wat, they clean. With another verb, the verb giwe, the verb to go home. Giwe yan, I go home. Giwe yin, you go home. Giwet, he or she goes home. Giwe yak, we but not you go home. Giwe ago, we all go home. Giwe yak, you all go home. Giwe wat, they go home. So yak or yuk for the you all. Yak or yuk. And it's for the we, yak. Wajanda, he or she cooks. Wajanda yan, I cook. Wajanda yin, you cook. Wajandat, he or she cooks. Wajanda yak, we minus you cook. Wajanda ago, we all cook. Wajanda yak, you all cook. Wajanda wat, they cook. The verb kikdo, the verb to talk. Kikdo yan, I talk. Kikdo yin, you talk. Kikdot, he or she talks. Kikdo yak, we minus you talk. Kikdo ago, we all talk. Kikdo yak, you all talk. Kikdo wat, they talk. So one more time. Kikdo yan, I talk. Kikdo yin, you talk. Kikdot, he or she talks. Kikdo yak, we minus you talk. Kikdo ago, we all talk. Kikdo yak, you all talk. And kikdo wat, they talk. Remember, this form is used, like I said, when you ask more complicated questions like who, what, when, where, why. It's also used when there are more than one verb in the sentence. The second verb is often put into the conjunct. Occasionally, you'll also hear the conjunct form in prayers and some songs. Also, all the information about who is doing the action is in the back end of the verb. Learn this pattern, like I said before, and you can use any number of AI verbs to better familiarize yourself with the conjunct form. So, get to practicing. Ahau. Yo.